your thinking on,
What's
on
up? What's
why
up?
they're doing this.
My
Late
guess
night
would be that
police
LAPD
chase.
has dealt with this person, knows this person. They started it. They want to continue it. I think the other thing tactically here as well, that CHP unit, while
I
he
saw
was doing
my
a great
tweet.
job chasing him, it appeared to be the only CHP unit. So LAPD doesn't want to put themselves in a position where, CHP doesn't want them involved because that's their policy, but then you've only got one CHP unit chasing the guy. So now that they're back on surface streets, LAPD is what they call a pursuit package, where a supervisor or a watch commander predetermines the amount of units that are allowed to be involved in the chase. They had met that whatever number that was for their pursuit package, and that's usually 3 or 4 patrol cars, and each patrol car has 2 officers in it. So we're talking about 6 to 8 officers that would be available if this thing came to an end and they got to chase the guy. So it may just be for that reason. It may be that they know who the guy is and they just want to keep their chase.
Well, and so you said the primary, the key word there, they want to keep their chase because they really want to get this person in custody.
Yeah.
In other words, it's better for them to stay with this and apprehend this person as opposed to go into tracking mode and letting them possibly get away.
And they're constantly weighing, risk versus reward on this. They're constantly trying to figure out, is this worth chasing this person? And at least for this moment, the supervisors of this chase have said, yes, it is. Yes, it is worth chasing this person, and we shouldn't go into tracking mode. So that says something about the person that they are chasing because they are, have been so careful, I'll say, or specific lately about what they're chasing and how hard they're chasing it. And for them to, so I'm just listening to some radio traffic, but for them to want to continue this chase, not do it in tracking mode, and actually ask for it back from the CHP means that they're pretty interested in this guy.
Can John possibly give us a shot of just how many vehicles are behind this car?
Yeah, he'll pull out for us a little bit. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and that's typical. So 4 units. One of those is probably a supervisor that's involved in the chase. And then you've got a bunch of units that are probably... Oh, so pit is denied. Suspect possibly has a gun.
Shit.
And they just reaffirmed that they will not go into tracking mode because of that fact. So they just reiterated that this person is believed to have a gun.
No, chasers are still off.
They denied a pit maneuver because of that and have also said we will definitely not go into tracking mode.
All right. Well, the possibility of laying another spike strip, does that reduce the chances of that because of this person possibly being armed?
Yeah, I mean that'll you run the risk of putting an officer in front of the car.
Yeah,
and so when you do that, I mean they did it twice already. It didn't work. Not to say they won't try it again. I mean if the officer is like able to get behind something where they have cover and kind of have a little bit easier of a time doing that instead of being directly in the path of this person, they might consider it. I haven't heard anything kind of saying yes or no definitively on that. I haven't heard it be asked for yet either. Let's try to see if we can get a look inside of that. He's moving so fast and the trees are in the way, but every now and again you kind of see a little glimpse inside the driver's side there. And this is that silver Lexus that they've been chasing. Doesn't come back stolen, which is how they know about this person's history and all of those things. The West Valley
that was a
LAPD,
wild turn.
Yeah, the watch commander over at West Valley LAPD confirming to my colleague Orlando that this original want was DUI. But again, because they know who the person is, they know this alleged history of this person, and that's why they're taking this so seriously.
Well, they certainly are lighting him up now. Notice he really seems to be familiar with this area. He's been on Winnetka. At least a few times that we've been over here watching this.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just looking, and we're going to a neighborhood here. We'll see if he's going to try to bail out. These guys like to get in these kind of darker pockets of places to be able to run. So we'll see if that's what he's going to do. This is kind of one of the first times where he's gotten off these major streets. But we basically started, Pat, over at Sherman and White Oak, and then have kind of weaved our way up and down the valley. We came up into Northridge, back down to Lake Balboa, over to Encino, Tarzana, Winnetka, Canoga Park. Now we're kind of back in the Northridge-ish area, working our way back to the south, I believe, kind of the south and then to the west a little bit.
Okay, well, again, he's in a more residential area.
Yeah.
For sure. Streets are narrower, obviously.
More narrow and more chances for people to kind of be out, and especially if they hear the loud helicopters and walking towards them and all of those things. So LAPD always has to be a little bit careful. The turns are usually a lot tighter in a neighborhood too, but now we're coming back out.
on
There's some
Major
CHP
Street.
units that just happen to kind of be in the area. It looks like some utility crews and some other work going on down there too. And there's that LAPD unit in that Ford Explorer kind of right behind him as we kind of push through these intersections here, back into our speeds about 70, 80 miles an hour. Again, wrong side of the road. And again, for no reason. There's nothing preventing this person from being on the correct side of the road. And he just kind of
tripping,
so
out,
fast as we blow through those intersections.
And that's the worry, of course, that innocent driver could be impacted by this person here. It's almost like he went down a side street to maybe gauge or see if that's somewhere where he could possibly dump the car and get out and run, or maybe he was familiar or knew somebody in that area. But now he's back on Mason Avenue, which is, certainly much wider boulevard.
Yeah, you also
and
wonder
a major thoroughfare.
Yeah, you also wonder, Pat, when people like this, they obviously have at least what we're hearing, a criminal history. Is this, were they going through that neighborhood to see how closely LAPD would follow? Were they testing the waters to see what they can get away with? And, would a neighborhood be a good spot to ditch the car and run? And then obviously they were right behind him, so he kept going. I mean, there's a whole list of things of who knows what this person is thinking as they're behind the wheel. But, they're obviously making at least some conscious decisions about where they were going when they pulled into that neighborhood, because that was the first time we'd seen them do that throughout the duration of this chase as we continue through these kind of major streets. We are now at Mason and Lassen as we continue to get to the north end of the valley, the northwest end of the valley into the Chatsworth area, which is the furthest north we have gotten so far in this chase. But man, we've covered a lot of ground on the west end of the valley.
There's no question about that. And again, it makes it even more difficult. We wonder, well, how is this going to end? Because there are so many different things that they won't do simply because this person, they have news that they could have a weapon. So that certainly presents some limitations as far as spike strips or pit maneuvers or what have you. But at the same time, they still want to get this person into custody and are more than likely, Mike, as you noted, willing to continue following this.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if they're going to be in it, they're going to be in it, and that's what appears to be happening here. So they've got options. You wait the guy out and wait till he runs out of gas or gives up or tries to run or something, or you go the other way and you bring in Metropolitan Division with armored vehicles and that whole contingency of options. Now, we've not heard them at all discuss that. But if that's, if they're not comfortable doing pit maneuvers, understandably so, if he's armed, and they, don't want to wait this guy out, then bringing in armored vehicles would be kind of your next option here. Now, hopefully this guy just gives it up and runs, or, obviously ideally would surrender, but as long as he stops driving, especially when we're doing this on the wrong side of the road.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just whatever he can do to get around traffic. It's not even that he needs to do it. It's just how he's choosing to drive.
You almost wonder, and we've seen this from time to time, that they know this is probably their last hurrah. So they're just going to drive, do whatever they can, not really thinking that they're going to get away. Because you can't possibly think that at this point, Mike, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I think LAPD has totally shown its intentions here, and that is to stay with this guy in the air, on the ground. I mean, even taking it back from the CHP, these guys have every intent of continuing to chase this person to try to take him into custody for the alleged DUI, obviously, which was the original want, but the litany of other things that we have been listening to about him on the radio as well. It sounds like they just know this person and really want to get him off the streets. And as far as the person goes, I mean, that's, I think the LAPD has shown that pretty well, that they're going to be here for the long haul.
And now he's back in Canoga Park.
Yeah, now we're coming back southbound. We've actually been on this same street already. This is DeSoto, coming through, Parthenia and further south. So we've already hit this street once. Now we're coming back down it the other way. So, I mean, he's not made any real attempt to get on the freeway and get out of town, right? He's not tried to hit the 405 and go north through the Grapevine. He could have gone into Ventura County when he was on the 101 coming through Tarzana.
Very briefly.
Very briefly, yeah. I mean, he made the decision to get back off onto surface streets and hash this out in the San Fernando Valley instead of, doing what we see a lot of people do, which is just hit the freeway and try to get as far away as they can.
And then keep going, but not him. And again, we have seen speeds of 100 miles an hour. Haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
He has hit speeds of 80, but for the most part, he has stayed in that mid-range of 50s. And so this is, again, it's almost as if he's just doing this, until he can do it no more,
Right.
and may even decide to just give himself up. We've seen that happen many times. Well, okay, I don't have an out now.
Yeah, the jig is up. It's time. It's, you know, let's end this, and hopefully that happens as soon as possible, right? Because I mean, just the disregard he has for public safety with driving on the wrong side of the road and his high speeds and all of those other things here, it just would be in everyone's best interest if he just pulled over, gave it up, called it a day before somebody gets hurt.
Unless we did not take back that assault with a deadly weapon. So again, there's also reason for them to continue
And the fact that they
and try to get this person into custody.
Yeah, and the fact that they believe that he is still armed as well. Yeah. So we're going to continue. We're going here still on the western edge of the San Fernando Valley. We are now eastbound on Saticoy. Coming up on Mason is going to be our next major cross as we watch this person who was originally wanted for driving under the influence, alleged driving under the influence by the LAPD's West Valley station. Throughout the course of the chase, though, we have learned that this person has a litany of criminal history, according to LAPD, for various things. At one point, we did hear that they believe the person also may have a gun, and because of that reason, they have denied going into tracking mode at all. They have also said that they will not be doing a pit maneuver because of that fact as well. If you're wondering why, it's because if you do a pit maneuver, the idea of a pit maneuver is to spin the person around, and officers generally don't like somebody that is allegedly armed facing directly at them at the conclusion of that pit maneuver, which is why they don't do that. We have been seeing speeds all over the place here on surface streets as we go through that red light there here at Winnetka and Saticoy, a street that we have been on before. This person has almost gone to every corner of the western edge of the San Fernando Valley and is headed right back towards where we started on this in the Winnetka area. This pursuit first picked up in the Reseda area by the LAPD's West Valley station. Again, this person wanted for driving under the influence of something, and that was the original want. That's what got LAPD here to try to pull him over at the time. But here we are, 75 miles an hour as we approach the 10 o'clock hour here.
Oh, he's going to lose control. He's an idiot. Boom. Mama huevo.
Right through that intersection, spun around. Joining me here at the desk now, that suspect slamming into the side of that car.
Thanks for the 26 months later.
And we'll see if that guy's going to get out and run or what his deal is. There he is hanging out the window, guys.
With the hands up, quick.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere, Mike. Really, after all this high speed
Thank God he
going
didn't hurt
around
nobody.
the city, you said covering a very large amount of space. This guy basically came down because he took too wide of a turn.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know.
I guess we got to chase because I was talking shit earlier this morning on TikTok or Twitter saying that chases are dead. I think chases are dead anyway. This is a, what do you call it? A freak number, freak statistic, an anomaly. This is probably the best you're going to see for the year right here. I almost didn't even get on. Because I know how these chases are, but I just happened to be up because I was warming up some soup, and I was like, all right, I guess and I saw I had 2 calls. Hands up. My thought on this guy is that he was driving like a complete nut because sometimes the cops let them go, like the crazier they are. They're like, oh, it's not worth the risk. But I guess this guy already had a litany, criminal history. They don't want to let him go, and he's armed, I guess, possibly armed.
Is giving up. Can you tell our viewers here that's just joining us here at 10 o'clock how this all got started?
Yeah, so we're going to get some video here. We'll show you some of the highlights or lowlights of this chase as the suspect was coming through here. Really fast speeds. Left side of your screen is live pictures right now. LAPD making the approach to take this suspect into custody after he's finally surrendered after he crashed. On the right side of your screen, video from just a bit ago. We'll watch them take him into custody. We'll see, guys, because the door might be jammed. After a crash like that, sometimes, even though he didn't hit it on the driver's side, I don't know
pull him up by his arms.
Open it. We'll see. Certainly they'll try. That would be the ideal way. Otherwise, they're going to have to pull him out of the window here. But officers have made that approach. That guy, as soon as he slammed sideways, hit the pole, that's when he said, that's it, I'm good.
Threw his hands up and
sobered up. No attempt to try to get out and run. He has made no attempt to do anything else. So looks like LAPD is trying to get those doors open. You see the guy on the left, the officer on the left, with that green-barreled weapon there. That is a less lethal beanbag launcher round. So they've got that there as well, certainly lethal rounds. But right now you can see they just cut his seatbelt off. That's what that officer's doing.
I wonder if he's injured, Mike, because I just saw the spin out once again. We're showing our viewers again.
Yeah.
It was the passenger side of the car that actually hit that power pole and eventually hit the curb here. yet he's having trouble getting out of the driver's side of the car. I wonder if he's injured.
He very well may be. I mean, that
Good,
was
I
not a
hope
soft
so.
impact. It was enough to take down a light pole and, you know, certainly do some good damage to the side of that car, which, by the way, we have not heard is reported stolen. So that's how they had all that information. Okay, driver's door is open. LAPD was able to get that out. And we'll see here as they pull this person out. Obviously, the person is conscious and breathing because we saw them put their hands out, and we know that it looks like the officers have been communicating with them. They cut their seatbelt off there as they were sitting in the driver's seat. So obviously the LAFD will come. I would assume this person would likely go to the hospital at least to get what's called a clear to book, which means doctors have to kind of sign off and say, yeah, you're good to go to jail. But he is able to walk on his own power, at least at this point, and he is being taken into custody. This wild, wild chase finally coming to an end. And I think we have some of those highlights we can show you now that this.
Yeah, this guy, he did almost hit some pedestrians. He was driving crazy on the wrong side of the road. He was doing that for no reason, too, and then jerking the car left and right. There's nobody there in front of him. He's just jerking his shit all left and right. That was one of my thoughts in the beginning, is that he was going to spin out or something. But thankfully, nobody besides him. Maybe, I don't know if he's hurt or not. Thankfully, he didn't kill. That's where he almost hit the pedestrians. Maybe he saw the tweet. He's like, fuck that guy, Ikemel. I'm going to make sure we eat his words with the chase thing. Man, we'll see you two tomorrow. We'll come back with news. I kind of took off the day, but I saw that thing in Venezuela. It was kind of almost funny because they said there was fire. People were shooting all over the country or somewhere in Caracas or whatever it's called. Apparently, though, it was like friendly fire. There was they thought there was an enemy drone. Like maybe they thought Trump was coming back to snatch the vice president up, snatch her ass up. And they saw a drone, but apparently it was their own drone. And so everybody starts shooting at this drone. Anti-aircraft and everything starts shooting at this drone. It's their own fucking drone. Oh, shit. Yeah, they were shooting at this drone. And then the Colombian president, he's still talking shit to Trump. And now people are bringing up that he got caught with that transgender and he's married. That resurfaced again. Remember that whole mess? He was caught walking with a transgender lady cheating on his wife. It's a whole hot mess. Maduro. So I have a couple of clips, I guess, tomorrow if we cover it again. This guy's done for.
It was just a couple of feet away.
And any more information about the assault with a deadly weapon?
So, yeah, it sounds like that may have been part of his criminal history.
I see.
Again, the original warrant was DUI. Everything else was previous crimes. There's also a bit about him being on probation violation and being wanted for probation violations. So I think there was a whole series of facts that came together here that, yes, the original warrant was DUI, but then when they ran the car, they're like, oh, and he's got X, Y, and Z. And that's what kind of amplified the charge.
And here's that spin out once again, Mike. What's interesting, what you're saying here is officers chasing him knew exactly who they were chasing. They knew who he was, right?
Yeah, and because usually these cars are stolen. And so they don't know who was behind the wheel, but the car is not stolen. So they were able to run the plate and figure out who he is.
All right, moving on to other news now. Our other big story tonight.
A brutal beatdown at the happiest place on earth. A father recovering from serious injuries after getting into a fight with a family at Disneyland.
Well, his relatives say he confronted that family for cutting in line on a ride.
CBS LA's Nicole Comstock is live in Anaheim for us with word there may have been no arrests in the case. Nicole.
Yeah, police say the man who threw punches in this case left the park almost immediately, and they're still looking for him. As for the other man who was hit, he's from Washington State, and he didn't want to go on camera tonight, but we were able to message with his wife. She says her husband is just a stickler for rules, and that's the only reason he said anything about the whole cutting in line situation. They never expected this to take a violent turn. Even on a Monday night,
Violent
hundreds
beauty.
of families with kids are filing in and out of Disneyland. But there was a little hiccup at the happiest place on earth last week. Police say this man was punched in his head inside Disneyland during a dispute about people supposedly cutting in line for the Indiana Jones adventure.
I don't want to see no grown adults fighting. That's horrible.
You should have the ability to control yourself.
Yeah, no, this is not Jerry Springer.
As parkgoers condemn the childish behavior, police are still searching for the guy who allegedly threw those punches.
There's always two sides of the story. We don't know what that person said.
So the guy that confronted, I guess, got beat. I guess. Damn. The only thing with Venezuela too is now they're saying there's armed guys going around. Maduro's right hand man, Diosdado Caballo. He's out there with armed men. It's gonna be.
See?
Yeah, there's gonna be problems. I guess we'll see. All right, guys, have a good night. I'm assuming that's probably gonna be it for tonight. That'd be crazy if there's another chase. I might not get back up if there's another chase. It depends. If it looks interesting. But all right, guys, have a good night. Bye. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Thank you. Power vacuum, yeah, power vacuum. Good night.